of you present here, I, Dr. Shuchi, welcome you all to the valedictory session of the Global Strategic Management Conference 2022.
Thank you, Dr. Goel. Over the last 2 days, we have had deep insights into several issues of metaverse and incorporation of financial technologies, and it is indeed an enriching experience to have this course on this contemporary and lesser explored theme. The 2 days proved to be of great advantage to all the attendees. I would like to thank our knowledge partner, Karyathon, Mr. Prashant Khare, CEO and founder of Karyathon, and his team members, and also our media partners, Financial Express and Amar Ujala. Moving ahead, I take great delight to introduce our institution, Delhi Metropolitan Education, a leading educational institute affiliated to GGS-IPU, New Delhi, and approved by the Bar Council of India. Located at the IT Hub in Noida Sector 62, our institute is committed towards forming and sustaining conditions enabling students to embark on an unparalleled educational journey that is intellectually, socially, and personally transformative and enriching. DME offers sought-after courses in the field of management, journalism, and law. Under its aegis, DME Management School offers an intensive 3-year program spread over 6 semesters aiming at building proficiency in the area of business management. The program is designed to capture the contemporary issues in management through a mixture of theoretical and practical knowledge imparted to the students. We are graced with accoladed resource persons from the corporate and academic world to share management-related insights to the students through their own life experiences. Activity-oriented approaches like case study discussions, role plays, brainstorming, industrial visits, research projects are a regular feature. Therefore, I say that as an educational institution, we believe in achieving excellence. With this, I would now like to hand over the stage to Dr. Goel, convener Gsmc 2022, to kindly present the report of the conference. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Shirley ma'am. As we move ahead, I would like to present a crisp summary of the 2-day Global Strategic Management Conference that we had starting yesterday. This year's conference theme was FinTech in Metaverse, Challenges, Opportunities and Future Trends. On day 1, we had with us Mr. K.C. Jha, Advisor, Business Functions and Integration, GEM, which is the Government e-Marketplace under Ministry of Commerce, Government of India. Sir apprised us about GEM, how the government started GEM, how the government is using a digital platform to procure and provide common use goods and services, ultimately benefiting both the buyers as well as the sellers and the society at large. This was followed by a panel discussion on the topic Unleashing the Power of FinTech. The panel discussion was moderated by Dr. Shalini Gautam, Associate Professor Management School and Head Outreach DME, as well as Dr. Rashmi Chawla, Associate Professor Management School and the co-convener of this conference. The panelists included eminent personalities from academia, namely Dr. Sean Watts, Professor, Keimyung University from South Korea, Dr. Rashmi Malhotra, Professor, Decisions and System Sciences, St. Joseph's University, US, Dr. Suman Banerjee, Associate Professor, Finance, Stevens Institute of Technology, US, Dr. Indraneel Chakrabarti, Associate Professor, Finance, University of Miami, US, and Dr. D.K. Malhotra, Professor, Finance, Thomas Jefferson University, US. The esteemed panelists from industry included Mr. Vineet Tyagi sir, CTO at Biz2 Credit and Biz2X, Mr. Vineet Daya sir, co-founder and director at InfoExon Technologies Limited, and Mr. Ankit Mehra sir, co-founder and CEO at Gsmc. We witnessed very encouraging response from all the panelists regarding the themes and sub-themes of the conference. A total of 51 abstracts were received for the conference, out of which 28 papers were selected for presentations during the 2 tracks that we had today at 9:30 a.m. online. The first track was on Finverse, Contemporary FinTech Universe and Challenges, which was chaired by our 2 external professors, Dr. Rashmi Malhotra and Dr. Suman Banerjee, with Dr. Rashmi Chawla as the internal chair. The track 2 was on FinWake, Opportunities and Future Trends, with Dr. Indranil Chakrabarti and Dr. D.K. Malhotra as the external chairs and Dr. Seema as the internal chair. On this concluding day, to keep the wheels of learning and deliberation rolling, we have been joined and graced by eminent dignitaries from industry for sharing the thoughts on the conference. Thank you, everyone.
I would now take pleasure in introducing to the audience our esteemed guest. I am delighted to introduce respected Mr. Vineet Tyagi, CTO at Biz2 Credit and Biz2X. He is a strategic leader with a proven track record of digital transformation through formulating and translating business vision and strategies into products and businesses that are generated maximum ROI for best interest of stakeholders, customers, and employees. Sir is an expert in technology forecasting, solutioning, developing strategic technology plans, and directly or indirectly lead to enhanced profitability. He has managed technology and product development investments as large as $6 million a year and have directly led to the creation and implementation of new businesses line as large as $50 million a year in the space of big data and digital transformation. He has also managed the whole life cycle of innovation from ideation to implementation and to commercialization, have built and managed innovation, R&D, product teams of 120 plus people working in the cutting edge of big data, cloud and mobile technologies. He has led the building of and contributed to several new business lines, big data, social media, test engineering, products like Ankush, Kundera, M-Automate, WebRoar, Esprit, led pre-sales and thought leadership to create differentiated services in the area of digital transformation through big data and cloud technologies. Sir is a regular featured speaker on big data, cloud computing, agile in various industry conferences, partner webinars, NASSCOM and trade media. We, on behalf of DME, welcome you, sir. I would now like to introduce to all our next guest, Mr. Vineet Dahiya. Sir is the director and promoter at Info Axon Technologies Limited. He is currently heading the marketing and business development at Info Axon. The role comprises of formulation and execution of marketing strategy, brand building, demand creation, identification of new business opportunities, and revenue generation. Building and managing partnerships with the best of the breed professional open source vendors, Alfresco, Liferay, Red Hat, etc., to provide rich Web 2.0 portal, content and knowledge management, collaboration solutions to our customer. His specific interests are mainly in the area of open source and its use in business, new technology trends, and helping clients reap the business benefits of open source model. He is fascinated with social media tools to engage in conversations with prospects, customers, and the community. We are glad to have you with us, sir. Further, we have our next guest to grace this occasion, Mr. Ankit Mehra. Mr. Ankit Mehra is the CEO and founder of Gyandhan, India's first education financing marketplace. A mechanical engineering graduate from IIT Kanpur, Mr. Ankit worked with Capital One USA for around 7 years. He left his job in 2013 and went on to pursue an MBA from IESE Business School, University of Navarra. At IESE, Mr. Ankit witnessed a lot of MBA colleagues facing trouble arranging finances for their studies. The slow and opaque application process and lack of financing options that did not account for the future employability prospects of the students were contrary to the risk-based pricing frameworks he was accustomed to building at Capital One. He decided to move back to India in 2015 after his MBA to start Gsmc, and the aim to simplify access to financing for higher education and make it meritocratic and easy. We are happy to welcome you here, sir. May I now request our dignitaries, Director Sir, HOD Ma'am, and Prashant Khare Sir, and also our conveners, Dr. Suchi and Dr. Rashmi, to please come and felicitate our guests one by one. I request all our dignitaries to please come and felicitate our guests one by one.
Done together, but then a formal welcome is much important. Please. Sir, I give this. Prashant, sir, please.
Our first guest is Mr. Vineet Tyagi, sir. We request Mr. Vineet Tyagi, sir, to please stay back and do join us for the other group photos as well. Our next guest is Mr. Ankit Mehra. I would request sir to please come up on stage.
Volunteers will keep it there safely so that you all can sit relaxed. Please, please.
I now request our dignitaries to felicitate Mr. Vineet Dhaya, sir, with the token of remembrance.
Prashant sir is formally, part of the organizing committee. Please with us.
I request all our guests and dignitaries for a group photograph. Please join us for a group photograph.
एक स्माइल प्लीज सबका
just involved
Further, it's my profound privilege to introduce this august gathering about our other dignitaries present with us today. We are thankful to Director Sir Professor Ravikant Swami for being with us here today. Professor Dr. Ravikant Swami is the Dean and Director of DME, Dean Management School and Director DME. Sir has over 25 years of experience in teaching and administration. Sir has done his MBA from Jain Narayan Vyas University, Jodhpur, and PhD from University of Rajasthan, Jaipur. He is a certified trained professional from IIM Calcutta and IIM Bangalore. Sir has guided 2 doctoral theses and has 2 books to his credit, namely Demonetization, Demystified Prestige Publications and Strategies for Business Excellence. Now, I would also like to introduce you all to Professor Dr. Purva Ranjan, Head, DME Management School. Ma'am has done a PhD in Retail Marketing Management and MBA in International Business Management. She is also founder and head of Mentoring Cell, Entrepreneurship Cell, and Skill Cell at DME, and the list goes on. She is also a certified POSH trainer. She trains the ICC committee members in handling the POSH process. Dr. Purva works closely with students for skill enhancement purposes for various areas like digital marketing, Microsoft 365 tools, entrepreneurship development, cybersecurity, Google tools, to name a few. Over the years, she has organized several FDPs, workshops, and many national and international conferences. We have another dignitary with us, Mr. Prashant Khare, sir, the CEO and co-founder of an immensely successful brand, Karyathon. Sir is a graduate in English Honours from University of Delhi, have placed more than 10,000 plus students in career. At Karyathon Services, they are skilling on core programming, cloud and data science, and analytics. We welcome you, sir. It goes without saying that I really have to introduce our conveners, Dr. Rashmi Chawla. She is currently spearheading as an associate professor in the School of Management, DME. She is an erudite academician with an extensive experience of 12 plus years. Our another convener, Dr. Suchi Goyal. She is currently working as an associate professor, Management School, DME. She is also an academic coordinator and second in charge, Management School. She holds a PhD in economics from Jamia Millia Islamia and then also a UGC JRF qualified. And more than 7 months of continuous efforts of the conveners under the guidance of commendable leader Dr. Ranjan and also the entire team of Management School, this conference is delivered. I welcome you all very profoundly and gladly. Thank you everyone for sparing your valuable time and being a part of these events. To address the issue, may I invite Mr. Vineet Dahiya to deliberate on the insights on new business opportunities in the area of fintech. The stage is all yours, sir.
Thank you everyone, thank you for being here, and I remember during college days, we all used to sit, wait for people to come and quickly go through their lectures. So fortunately, our talk is for just 10 minutes, so I think we will finish up very quickly. Let me again introduce myself. I'm Vinny Dhaya. I'm one of the co-founders and directors at Gsmc Technologies. We started in 2001. It's been a journey of 21 years for us. We started with childhood friends and still continuing with our friends. That's the most satisfying thing being an entrepreneur, that you know the core team that you have started and the friends you have started with, you are still working with your friends. So apart from this topic, I would encourage every one of you to take the path of entrepreneurship, try to create something you believe in, and the benefits are immense, not only to yourself but to the society and to the nation as a whole. Anyhow, coming back to the topic, I just wanted to quickly introduce our organization first. So InfoXon, we are a company, we help our customers become digital business, and we help them by creating digital platforms using which they could reach out to large number of people, large geographies, and also innovate in their business models and the kind of new age work that they are planning to do. So our focus area is mainly 3FSI. We work a lot with insurance, financial services, banks, and also manufacturing. And so we are close to around 150 people company doing some very specialized work around digital transformation for BFSI industry. Now, since the topic is more around what are the new developments and the opportunities happening in the area of fintech, so I would like to say that there are three broad areas where the new business opportunities are emerging, and it remains true for almost all the industry, but it is very specifically true for the fintech. So these areas are, one is the product and the services. So how do you innovate on the new products and services which the customers require? So your customers are changing, their needs are also changing, and also many times they have some unmet need. Nobody has thought of solving that particular problem. So how do you create new products and services to solve that problem? The second area is the business model itself. So earlier you were doing maybe a physical model, but now you realize the benefit of a digital model. So how do you innovate on your business model side so that you can capitalize on the new opportunities which are coming up? And the third and the most important is the customer experience side of things. So this is where I think most of the investment and my colleagues would also agree that this is the area which is undergoing a massive transformation. Technology always go through that transformation. Changes always happen at the technology. So I'll not speak much about what is happening on the technology front, but definitely at the customer experience side, a lot of transformation has happened, and customer has become the center of everything you are trying to innovate or disrupt. So that's the main area. So coming back to the products and services, so what is happening there? So we see that a lot of opportunities are there in terms of creating very small products which are meant for some very specific needs of the masses. So for example, you would look at things like in fintech, buy now, pay later. So we call it BNPL. But now almost everyone would have experienced it. You want to buy something, you just go ahead and buy, and then you keep on paying later. So this is something which has come out of because organizations, entrepreneur could understand the latent need and of the people to actually buy new things and to raise their standards of living, and so they have come out with a product which is very specifically suited for that kind of requirement. So, and then there are a lot of other things happening in terms of the services side of things also from apart from that. So for example, there are organizations which are just focusing on being the service provider to the other product companies. So for example, look at Aadhaar. So what they do is, Aadhaar is not a product that you buy, right? So, but it is a service that every fintech or a bank or a BFSI would use to authenticate a customer or to validate a customer. So they are focused on just a service that whenever you want to find out about the authenticity of a user, you just call my service and I'll tell you yes or no, and that's it. So that's the innovation that they're bringing in, and I hope you would understand how this innovation has caught on. So the services side, lot of APIs driven organizations, there are a lot of opportunities there. So for example, nowadays when you go and try to buy a car or any vehicle, there are a lot of third-party services where the authentication happens. Where, for example, if you want to buy the insurance, you don't have to fill your car, the engine number, the VIN number, or the buying date, and that sort. There are services like Fastlane, Vahan, where you just make a API call and they give you back all the details which is required. So the customer is not required to fill the lengthy forms that we are all used to filling. So this is also a new innovation happening on the services side of things. Then also there are a lot of other things in terms of, for example, you would have heard of CRISIL, which is your credit rating and all. So they are just focusing on telling the credit worthiness of a customer, and so that the banks and other NBFCs could give loan or not. So there are a lot of opportunities which are there on the services side, where you just provide a specific service and to other providers in the ecosystem. Now, apart from products and services, we see a lot of innovation coming from and the opportunities coming in the way you innovate on the business model. So the business models, for example, I don't know whether you've heard of P2P lending, where person-to-person lending is there. We are all used to buying credit from banks or NBFC. But imagine you and I have some spare money and we want to lend. And there are platforms which connect the buyers and the lenders, and there are no institutions involved in between. So I can lend to someone, I can form a group of people who want to lend and could lend to someone. So this is a new business model in terms of P2P lending. Then there's innovation and new business opportunities emerging in the areas of embedded finance. So embedded finance is, so for example, I'm a mobile phone seller. Somebody comes and buys a mobile, I can immediately offer a credit, and I can immediately offer an insurance without me being either a fintech player or an insurtech player. So what is happening is, leveraging the power of APIs, many retail companies are able to embed products into their own buying journeys. So this is another areas where a lot of opportunities are emerging. You look at travel, so whenever you book a ticket from Make My Trip or anywhere, insurance is sold to you just by clicking up a particular box. So this is how the embedded finance is another area where a lot of innovation is happening. And then also in terms of how are you aggregating various players together and creating a marketplace. So for example, earlier the marketplace used to be like, you would have heard of Policy Bazaar or Bank Bazaar or cardekho.com, where they are just aggregating all the players on a single platform and giving you the choice to compare and to find out which one is the right product or services for you. Now, in fintech, it is going a step ahead where the marketplace is looking at solving and catering to all your life needs. So for example, when you are young, you want to buy a car, you have just landed a job, you want to buy a car or own a house, then there are credit available. But at a certain point of time, you would need insurance. So they would advise you and would cater to your insurance side of things. Then after some time, you would have a lot of funds available. You would like to manage your wealth now. So they would give you capabilities and a lot of advisory in terms of how to manage your wealth. So they are catering to all your life stages and life needs using the power of the platform and the technology. And whatever I'm saying, underlying is the data. So how well you are capturing the data, how well you are able to churn out the analytics and the insight about the data, and can you predict what would be the next thing a person would be looking at. So these are all emerging areas and opportunities where a lot of work is going on, and I'm sure a lot of new innovations will come out very soon. Then the last and the very important part is the user experience side of things. So a lot of organizations and companies are differentiating themselves on the basis of the user experience. So look at Amazon, look at things like Cred, the way they are engaging users and making such complex things like getting a credit, buying an insurance, or ordering or returning a product so simple is because they have invested a lot in terms of the user experience. How the users actually interact with system and what exactly do they need when they are doing it. So that is the area where a lot of, I would say, new innovation is going on, and a lot of companies are just differentiating themselves on the basis of engaging and innovative user experience. Apart from the user experience, the way your digital journey happens on various systems. So for example, how you are giving certain nudges. So I may not understand fintech. I may not understand the nuances of how the credit or the lending or maybe the insurance work. But does the platform gives me those nudges which tells me, okay, you are doing this, but I think a person of your age and your requirement would do good if you take this product rather than that product. So all those intelligent recommendations and nudges as part of your digital journeys is where a lot of opportunities are there, and it all becomes a part of how an experience is given to the end users. Then I think yesterday also there was a panel discussion in terms of metaverse and all, and I think we are moving in that direction. I said it yesterday also that in digital you interact with the system, but it is very impersonal. You can't actually talk to a person while doing your transaction on the digital platform. And in fact, they discourage, these platforms discourage that you should talk to them. It is very difficult to find, I don't know how many of you would have faced, can you find the call center number of Ola or Uber? I mean, can you call their call center? I don't know where that number is hidden, but you can't. So everything they would force that you do it through your platform only, because that's how they are reducing their cost, that's how they are bringing in efficiencies. But what is getting sacrificed is that human angle. And how do you humanize that entire experience? And this is where the metaverse, where we were discussing, comes in, where you could actually have some virtual people talking to you, interacting with you, and actually hand-holding you through the entire process. So I think these are the areas where a lot of work is going on, and are the emerging areas where you would see a lot of innovations coming in. So I want to now end my talk here, and I know you guys have waited patiently, and many of you would not be in a mood to have longer sessions. So I end it here, and I'm really open if you have any questions or anything you want to ask.
So what kind of skill is needed to enter in this field? Because being a teacher and students are there. So what is it that we teachers need to keep in mind? How to skill our students so that they are able to follow in these upcoming areas?
No, this is very important because if you look at it from our side, we are also grappling with this problem. The way you are grappling it, what the student should be doing, we are also grappling in terms of how do we get those people who understand what is required. So I think, though my colleagues would be able to throw more lights on it, but from my experience, I think technology doesn't matter a lot. Technology could be understood. Technology is not something which would land somebody a particular job or a particular profile. What is required is actually your capability to act with an open mind. You are able to explore new areas. So one thing is having an open mind to be able to articulate, because nowadays with digital, a lot of things are being tried for the very first time. There's no previous experience of actually doing that. So you have to actually, on your feet, ask the right questions and get your answers from there itself. So to be able to articulate, to be able to ask questions, not very fearful of asking questions, is I think what we are looking at. Rest of the things, because there is so much of capability inside an organization to make you learn technology, to make you learn rest of the things. So I was just talking to my colleague during the lunch, and I said one of the best guy coder we had in 21 years of history was a guy who was BA English, and he did 2 years of IT course from NIT. So the only reason that he was the best is because he was always concerned about what is it I am trying to solve, and he would ask those right questions very early on. I think that is the capability which is more required. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely, we agree, sir, that as you said while you were sharing your thoughts with us, that user experience is of utmost importance in such a dynamic business environment. Also, that innovation has truly driven the economy for better. and the skills that you've shared with our students, that be outspoken, ask the right questions, and data analytics is a key skill nowadays. Thank you so much, sir, for those wonderful enlightening words for all of us and especially the students. Now, to apprise and provide inputs on digital transformation in the era of fintech, may I now call upon Mr. Vineet Tyagi, sir, on the dais to share his thoughts.
Very good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to talk to you. And to thank the director sir, the academic friends and colleagues and all the students and everybody who's here today. So I think I don't have a presentation, but I would like to share my thoughts, my experiences about digital transformation and how financial technology or fintech is getting affected by it. A very long and esoteric introduction was read about me. I don't know where did we get that. I need to correct that. It was perhaps my old CV that was more pitching for a job rather than my introduction. So let me introduce myself. I'm Vineet. I take care of the global products and technology for Digital Credit and Dis2X. Before that, I used to be the CTO for a company called Impetus Technologies. Before that, I used to work for Computer Sciences Corporation in both India and US, building products for healthcare sector. And all my life, I'm an engineer by training, and I began my career as writing code and expressing problem solving in terms of code, etc. But what has really been my learning has been how technology can help businesses. And what I've learned is how technology can help shape the world of business. So over the last 28 odd years since I left college, I was in college once like you. Once I left college, what I've seen is a literal transformation of how technology was, or IT as it was used to be called, was in the back end of business. It was a cost center. It was a cost that was involved in running the business. And literally today, technology plays a role in building a business. And that's the biggest transformation that has happened. If you look at any business today, in any sector, technology is driving a lot of changes. It's literally redefining the level of changes which are there, how business is done, and also, in many ways, just restructuring and reshaping business. How is technology affecting the financial fintech world? Fintech itself is financial technology. So how is finance getting impacted by technology? Yesterday in the virtual panel discussion, there was a question that came up, and I have a very strong viewpoint about how technology or what role technology will play. But to understand that, what we have to understand is what is likely to happen in the world of finance. If you look back, how did finance come across? The biggest innovation in finance happened 100 or maybe, I don't exactly remember, but 100 plus, let's say 200 years ago. Anybody has an idea what that innovation was that enabled global finance, global trade to happen? It's more fundamental than this. It's a very simple innovation that we don't even focus. It is so well spread, it's so well accepted that people don't focus on it. It was the double bookkeeping system. The concept of having a ledger which has a credit and a debit, using which you can have global trade. You can have two accounts and they'll always balance out. A credit for one is a debit for others, and so on and so forth. That happened 100 plus years ago, and it drove global trade like nothing else. It drove the manufacturing industry, it drove multiple things. There is a very big fundamental shift in finance which is happening. And that is the birth of the distributed ledger. Distributed ledger is a trusted ledger which is open. A double bookkeeping system required trusted authorities to be available for global trade to happen, or any trade to happen, or any financial transaction to happen. And that led to the rise of the banking industry. Fundamentally, what are banks? They are nothing but the ledger you trust. There is no other service they provide you. There is no other value addition they provide you. Fundamental to nature of banking is there is a trusted ledger they maintain. कि आपके कितने पैसे हैं, कितने नहीं, आपने कितने दे दिए, किसको दे दिए, money transfer. They have the back end also, so one can argue there's a lot more they do. Yes, they do a lot more, but fundamentally it is that you trust the bank. That's why you put your money there. Whatever record they maintain, it's a trusted source. Everybody trusts that. Now imagine if there is a distributed ledger which is not controlled by anyone, and it can be a trusted resource as well. Then what happens? What becomes possible? Definitely you don't need the banks then. One can argue what happens to the bank, you don't need a bank. And that is what is fundamentally happening now with all the, now one of the use cases of a distributed ledger is cryptocurrency, which is, all of us are aware, and we've been having different feelings about it. Some have benefited, some like me never benefited from it and always felt I should have. But fundamentally I don't believe in things which are more making money from misery of another one. Somebody has to lose for me to make that money. There's no value creation that way. So what is going to happen in financial technology is distributed ledger, AI, machine learning, and the rapid rise of cloud computing, which is a norm today. It is not a technology of the future, it is happening today. All of these coming together are going to change the way finance happens. It is already changing, limits are being pushed. Vinny talked about buy now, pay later, embedded finance. All of these are pushing the limits of what is happening. What is likely to happen in financial technology will be an ecosystem where banks don't exist and control customers, but where customers exist and there's an ecosystem built around the customer and their needs. That customer could be a single person, that customer could be a business. Right? आप एक business हो, आपकी need है, you better understand that need. Bank should not dictate, आपको आज अपने business के लिए पैसा चाहिए, because either you have to take care of some working capital need, or you have to pay your salaries, or you have to acquire material to fulfill orders. आप बैंक के पास जाएंगे, आप बोलेंगे, give me some money, I need, let's say 5 lakh rupees, and they'll tell you कि आप ये application भर दो, या आप में जाके कुछ कर दो, and still they'll tell you term loan मिलेगा, working capital loan मिलेगा, ये मिलेगा, वो मिलेगा. Why should you care? Why do you even know? What should be knowing about this? कि term loan मिलेगा. You're not a finance engineer. You're not supposed to be knowing all of this. Your need is very simple. मुझे 5 लाख रुपए चाहिए. I need them right now. And if you can fulfill my need, tell me you can fulfill it. Otherwise, I'll go somewhere else. So the need of the customer has to be understood, not the need of the bank or the banking industry. And that is the fundamental disconnect in the transformation that financial technology is driving and will continue to drive. And over the next 5 to 10 years, the banking industry as we see existing today will not exist. It will either become very different, or it will restructure itself to be something that I'm not qualified to comment on what it will become. Right? I was requested to talk about what technologies and everything. I can, but it's a very esoteric, very long discussion. Cannot do justice in the short time I have. Like I mentioned, distributed ledger is one such technology we have to understand. And please don't understand distributed ledgers to be equal into cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrency is a use case. There is AI, there are machine learning, there are multiple such things which are driving change. There is the cloud computing. All of the aspects of cloud computing and cloud that is available today is democratizing technology access. जो बहुत बड़ी कंपनीज के पास resources थे computers के computing के साथ, that is available to startups today. All you need to do is sign in, log in, run some machines, run a cluster, pay $10 to do something that you need to be done. You have state-of-the-art machine learning algorithms available on the cloud. You don't have to be a data scientist to write your own algorithms, to do some cool things. So democratization is freeing up deep tech and making it available to everyone. To build your own use cases, to experiment, to have a hypothesis-driven culture where experimentation, because experimentation drives innovation. And innovation will be necessary to drive the next level of transformation that financial technology is looking at. And fundamentally, like I said, when I began my career, it was an enablement or a back office or a cost center. IT or technology today is not a cost center, it's necessary for building new businesses. So it's moved from being a back office to a leader in that sense. And one of the biggest shifts that has happened is the CEO ladder used to be coming from the business side. More and more businesses see CEOs coming who have been on the technology side, CTO. Good example, recent example, not a good exit though. I never aspired to have that exit. Elon Musk took over Twitter and fired Parag Agrawal. Parag was the CTO of Twitter before he became the CEO. Right? So, that's the fundamental shift. That's what I can share in my 10 minutes. And in closing, I would say is that the opportunity to really do something different, the opportunity to excel, the opportunity to participate is democratized and available. So it's not key you have to be a great engineer if you have to be a great set of people and a great set of team. If you have a great idea and if you have a great mindset and if you have the great patience and perseverance, then you can participate and benefit from the change that is happening. And trust me, you will continue to see it. The change happens pretty fast. But when we are living the change, we never realize that it has happened so fast. When we look back, then we realize that it has happened so fast. 5 years ago and today are very different. We live today in India, a very big dream, a very convenient dream that is not even available in developed countries like US. And that is the power of the financial technology that's happening. To carry a phone, you don't have to carry a wallet. I worry about it sometimes because my son goes to college, doesn't even feel a need to have cash in his pocket. And I've been raised that if you are going out of home, at least have 1,000, 2,000, whatever, some amount of money in your pocket. And he doesn't care. As long as he has his phone, he feels he can travel abroad and do things. So that is the change, rapid change that has been brought about. And that will, just imagine 5 years down the line when we are perhaps sitting and gathered here, talking about what has happened. Some of these more fundamental things would have happened, all thanks to technology. So in closing, I would just say thank you very much for inviting me here and letting me share my thoughts. Thank you. If you have any questions, I'll wait for that. I thought I'm out of time. Anybody has any questions, they can ask. Not necessary. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, sir. Each word and the mantra that you just said, change is the only constant. We completely agree. And technology has definitely shaped the world of business. And the ecosystem, the wonderful ecosystem discussed by you about distributed ledger, AI and cloud computing, it is and it will definitely change the financial industry. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing with us such commendable pieces of knowledge. And especially, I think, we as teachers and students are greatly benefited out of it. Moving ahead, recent pandemic has posted several challenges on education section. Fortunately, we could easily combat these challenges due to technical knowledge and awareness. Since most of us belong to education sector, it will be worthwhile to learn more on the new technologies. Therefore, let me take an opportunity to invite Mr. Ankit Mehra sir to guide us on fintech as a solution in the education industry. Over to you, sir.
Thanks a lot for inviting me. When Vineet was making a speech, there were quite a few things I could resonate with. And I have some slides, but before I get started on the slides, I think what he mentioned around IT or technology being a back office and IT, I think that is how I viewed fintech was, or finance was being, or tech was being perceived by the Indian industry in general, and specifically in the education sector, which is what prompted me to move back to India saying, hey, we can't have these banks thinking about IT departments and having some things logged in their IT catalogs, infinite T equal to infinite pay, we will do this project. Right, so that was the thought process with which I started this. And the other thing which I'll resonate with is the fact that I don't have my wallet. I mean, I am in a place in my life where, I will not buy a thing if it is not available by digital. So that definitely says that from an infrastructure standpoint, the country has developed to a place where we can actually live our lives digitally. So with that, I'll just talk about fintech in the education industry. There are a lot of, I'll get started with the aspect that any industry, there will be different segments. So banking is not just about lending or not just about deposits. There are many ancillary activities as well. Payments is also a financial services product, right? But I will just focus on lending to begin with, because as was mentioned initially that we saw a lot of issues in the pandemic. One of the issues education institutes also faced was payments itself. And that is something we see institutes reaching out saying, hey, do you have a payment solution in place or not? Right, but if we start looking at every possible aspect, it will become pretty big. So I just thought, let me just look at lending as a service in terms of how lending can make education more accessible, or how can it make it cheaper. So with that, I just wanted to start with an overview of how do I price a customer if I was a bank in the old days. And then we can look at how technology can reduce costs or increase efficiency along the way. So typically how it will work is, I will have a cost of capital. So if I'm a bank, I'm raising deposits from customers, or customers are putting their deposits. I'm paying them an interest rate on that deposit. That is, roughly speaking, the cost of capital. On top of that, now I have to acquire a customer. A customer comes in, I have to do some paperwork, some due diligence. I have to do marketing, so that is my acquisition cost. Then comes the servicing cost. Now I have to send out monthly statements. If someone does not repay, I have to chase them, and so on and so forth. So there is a cost there. Then comes the cost of risk. Now someone is not paying and is not going to pay eventually. So that is something I have to pay from my own balance sheet. So that is all my cost as a bank. And then obviously I have to make money if I have to grow this business. So that is the profit margin I'll make. That will then result in what is my pricing to the end consumer. Right, so it's a simple math. There isn't really a lot of rocket science involved here. You add all your costs, you add your profit margin, that gives your price to the customer. Now what's happened is, with technology and you can disrupt, I wouldn't say disrupt, you can kind of reduce costs on all each verticals of this. And that is the playbook that has been in financial services for a long, long time. The good banks internationally, globally have done this very, very well. In the last few years, what's happened is the rate of change in technology has been so good and that it has driven costs substantially down or helped players be more efficient. And that's why we are talking a lot about fintech. But I'll get started with a quick talk on cost of acquisition and servicing. So this chart on the left is the customers who have applied for a loan in the domestic segment. So as a business, just a quick overview, Gsmc is a marketplace for education loans. We help students get loans for higher studies abroad. So we partner with a lot of banks and we provide students the best loan for themselves. A couple of years back, we started another vertical which was doing loans in the domestic market for upskilling courses. So it's a relatively new vertical for us, but if you see here, you can see we have customers applying for a loan from all over the country. Contrast this with typical NBFCs, the lenders, wherein they had a branch-driven model. So if I was an NBFC starting an education loan business, I will have a center in Delhi, so I'll service 100 kilometers outside of Delhi. That is the maximum reach. Now what that results in is, we have a lower cost of acquisition for the eventual customer, because the customer, I'm not staffing an office, I'm not having my employees go out there 20 different places, we are acquiring our customers digitally. So our cost of acquisition reduces, we can actually cater to a lot more customers. So as a marketplace for education loans for study abroad, we actually originated way more loans than very well capitalized lenders who were there for a long, long time even before us. That was really the sheer power of the technology. The other aspect is really around acquisition. So again, if I have a branch, now I'll take a physical copy, there will be issues, fat gaya, this and that, or I have now stored this document somewhere, I have to take your post-dated check, store it somewhere, God knows how do I submit it to a bank, and so on and so forth. With India Stack, pretty much everything is digitized. So in our domestic journey, we haven't met a single customer, to be honest, till date. We do everything digitally. Everything is digital. It reduces our cost of servicing to a minimum. All I'm saying is, all aspects, the idea is if my costs go down, that can result in the lowering of cost to the end consumer. So that is the key thing. People talk about farmers ko loan itne costly rate pe milta hai ya nahi milta hai, ya microfinance mein the cost is so high when we are giving these big loans to these industrialists who run away. That's not really correct, because the issue is access, the cost of giving out that loan is so high. Us karan se the rate to the farmer has to be very high for it to be viable. So the power of technology is ensuring that wo costs come ho jaye, so that the actual end cost to the farmer is low. Because otherwise what will happen is, we might have some arbitrary incentives by X party, by government or by some philanthropic organization, but that will not create a sustainable ecosystem. For that to happen, we have to use market-driven policies that can really solve this at scale. The second is better risk assessment. So again, I'm talking about the Gsmc example here. So when we started out, traditionally people were saying, hey, we'll only give out loans to parents, students whose parents have property. Right, that is the only way we know to underwrite loans. And then the smarter banks said, hey, you know what, we'll look at some FT ranking or some India Today ranking and say, these are the top 20 colleges, we'll give out loans to them. But the idea is, individuals are different. Two students going to Harvard are different. A student going to Harvard might be worse off than a student going to a George Mason University. So really try to understand this student, given their background, given their education background, given their professional qualifications, are they better placed to get a job after they complete their degree? Again, the ability to gather a lot of data through different sources, process that data, as he was mentioning about technology, the models, the AI models or data science models. The ability to do that well and better will reduce your cost of risk. Again, make you more profitable. You can pass on the lower cost to the consumer, and gain market share. The last bit is really around the first pillar which I talked about, cost of capital. So that has traditionally been one of the biggest issues, that at the end of the day, a bank will have the lowest cost of capital because they are getting the deposits, they have the CASA, the current account, savings accounts. That is not present to a fintech. Right, now some of it is also being removed, or people are challenging those, or there are other alternatives. Now some of it is again traditional finance, technology is just aiding the access to that. So two things I've listed out here. One, what was mentioned in one of the earlier slides or earlier panels was peer-to-peer lending. So really the idea being there is someone out there who has a capital who wants to deploy capital. His or her option right now is just to put money in a deposit in a bank. Why can't they directly give a loan to someone else? That is the power of peer-to-peer lending. The other is the classic asset-based securitization, because there is something that is now coming in the student lending space as well, is the fact that why do I need to keep loans on my own thing? Like I can take loans and give it to some other investor who wants to keep that loan on their own books. So I can service it. What that ensures is I can actually redeploy my capital much more efficiently and I can do much more business, which again I'll say, I think everything is profit driven, but if you can reduce costs at all places, then you can increase your profit margins and also decrease the cost to the end consumer. So that to me is really the opportunity in fintech. The fintech in the education space is really starts from better risk assessment. How do I understand which student is better or which segments are better? But then looking at how do we reduce cost of capital and how do we reduce the cost of operations. So that's pretty much my slides. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
So I think you're have completely benefited all the students and parents out here with your innovative solutions and also how you reduce costs and increase profit margin. Rapid change, as you said, rapid change in technology has led to efficiency, made our lives easier, and personally I think everyone's life easier. Thank you so much, sir. It was quite relatable. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. I now move ahead to announce the best papers of the Track 1 and Track 2 that happened today of GSMC 2022. The Track 1 winners were Ms. Sonakshi Mahajan and Mr. Girish Garg. The Track 2 best paper awardees were Mr. Prateek Jain and Ms. Priyanshi Jain and also Ms. Priyanka Singh. Congratulations to the winners. Past 2 days were full of activities, deliberations and a lot of learning. And so I now request our volunteers to please play some glimpses of the past 2 days in form of a short video and read. Indeed, a wonderful, insightful and highly fruitful 2 days of GSMC 2022. I now take a pause and I now would like to invite Mr. Prashant Khare sir to apprise us about the MLC challenge of Financial Express. Over to you, sir.
Well, thank you so much, ma'am. Just to announce that Career-Thon Services is a partner to Financial Express Mobility Leadership Challenge, and this details is kind of very much useful for all the students who wanted to participate this conference or this leadership challenge, because it will help you and it will enable you to work with most of the leaders organization in the mobility sector, be it a Daimler, be it Volvo or such a brand. So all the details will be shared with all the students in the final year and the second year of management. Thank you so much.
I think we have an opportunity right here for all the students to grab. Thank you so much, sir. I now take a moment to call Dr. Rashmi Chawla to help us know about the value-added course program delivered by DME Management School. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you, Shirley, ma'am. A very good afternoon to all the esteemed guests, respected dignitaries, fellow colleagues, parents, and dear students. The future belongs to those who learn more skills and combine them in creative ways. We all agree with this famous quote. Nowadays, the competition is increasing very drastically, and it is a challenge for all of us. If we look at the corporate world, there is competition everywhere, and not only those who possess or are ready to learn the required skills and knowledge can gracefully outsmart the competition. But the question is the traditional academic curriculum sufficient? Well, the answer is big no. In today's world, it is very important to have expertise in various fields, and one can acquire this through value-added courses. Value-added courses at DME aim to create a skill-enhancing environment, bridging the gap between academia and industry requirement, and exposing the learners with skills, knowledge, and concept to keep pace with the requirements and growth of corporate world. I feel privileged to mention that under the leadership and vision of Vice Chairman, Mr. Aman Sahni sir, and Mrs. Nishta Sahni ma'am, guidance of Director sir, Dr. Ravi Swami sir, and inspiration by our head of the department, Dr. Purva Ranjan ma'am, Value Added Courses Committee under the DME Management School launched its first value added course, Data Analytics using W, in association with eCell IIM Calcutta. The 32 hours course spread over a period of 5 days was conducted in 2 batches. We all know that data analytics and data visualization training to become a certified data analyst upside in a data-driven world. Industry-designed training in data analytics can help fast-track your career and apply for the top-paying jobs. The students got a rigorous hands-on practice on using Tableau and its application in HR, finance, and marketing domain. The additional skills on data analytics and visualization would definitely enhance the personality of our students. Furthermore, it would be beneficial for students for facing interview because it will help them to enrich their CV and give them something more to talk, which may intrigue the interviewer. After all, companies give preference to students with value-added skills and knowledge apart from academics. I'm sure our esteemed guests from industry would also agree with me on this. Now I feel honored to announce that all the students present here have done the data analytics course. Out of all the students, 10 students were selected on the basis of evaluation and their performance and will be awarded with a certificate of merit.
I also would like to mention that all these meritorious students would get an opportunity to visit IIM Calcutta or IIM Bangalore or IIM Indore for a B championship plan. Congratulations to all the meritorious students and their prize winners. Students will be felicitated today in this August gathering. I also feel delighted to announce that we are coming up with a new value-added course, Entrepreneurship and Business Development, in association with IIT Delhi. Thank you so much, everyone. I will now request Shirley ma'am to proceed further. Thank you.
So finally, the student, your time is here, and congratulations to everyone. I will request the students to come in a lot of 5 as and when your name is called out. But before that, I request our dignitaries, HOD ma'am and director sir, and also the faculty coordinators of value added course to please step up and felicitate our students. I request the volunteers to please click photographs of the students getting felicitated. Hardik Agarwal, Harsh Kapoor, Ashif Ali, Ashu Gupta, Aryan Kaushik. Please stay here for a group photograph as well. Our next lot is Aditya Rana, Harsh Bansal, Garvit Mahajan, Tisha De, and Jitish Surya. I request the students to please maintain silence. Your colleagues are getting felicitated. A round of applause will be very happy moment for them. Kusum Lama, Lakshya Rana, Siddharth Jayaprakash, Kushika Mathur and Deepika. I request them to come forward and take their certificates. The next students, please be ready. Yukti Gupta, Alok Mishra, Diksha Singh, Subika Singh, Aarti Chauhan. I repeat, Yukti Gupta, Alok Mishra, Diksha Singh, Subika Singh, Aarti Chauhan. I request students to click some photographs of your friends for your Instagram, Snapchat, wherever you want to post.
and of course LinkedIn. The next group would be, please be ready, Nitin Khurana, Ashish Bartola, Ujjwal Sharma, Tisha Arora and Ayush Verma. Nitin Khurana, Ashish Bartola, Ujjwal Sharma, Tisha Arora and Ayush Verma. Come quickly, students. The next group is, please be ready, the next group, Rudram Narang, Deepak Sharma, Aman Gabriel, Gurmeet Singh, Anshuman Rawat. Rudram Narang, Deepak Sharma, Aman Gabriel, Gurmeet Singh and Anshuman Rawat. Our next note is Akash Talwar, Ekaksha Thakur, Dev Arora, Ayush Singh, Keshav Bansal. Quickly, students, please come. Akash Talwar, Ekaksha Thakur, Dev Arora, Ayush Singh and Keshav Bansal. This is a piece of announcement for all the students. Please do fill the feedback form before leaving the seminar hall and submit it back to the mentors and the volunteers. Do not forget to fill the feedback form. Our next lot is Lavanya Bhardwaj, Nitin Negi, Ritika Gerola, Vikram Kumar, Charu Garg. Our last lot is Utkarsh Jain, Himal Chaudhary, Vansh Rastagi. Quickly come on stage. We now conclude with batch 1 students. Batch 2 students, please request you to come in a lot of 10 as and when your name is called. Tanya Kushwaha, Archit Bhatnagar, Yash Vardhan, Vidur Malik, Krishna Gupta, Neha Pal, Lakshay Jain, Sayyam Jain, Mehek Gupta and Rahul Bassi. Tanya Kushwaha, Archit Bhatnagar,
Yashvardhan, Vidur, Krishna, Neha, Lakshay, Sayyam, Mehek and Rahul. Our next note is Akhil Sharma, Sakshi, Kashish, Manan, Farhan, Sajal, Chirag, Aryan, Himanshi, Amit Kumar. Our next set of students, Akhil, Sakshi, Kashish, Manan, Farhan, Sajal, Chirag, Aryan, Himanshi and Amit Kumar. Silence, dear students, please. Can I have silence, please? Our next set of students will be Shruti, Karishma, Mansi, Sanya, Shikha, Ayush, Harshita, Muskan, Basu and Saveri Mukherjee. Quickly come on the podium, please. Shruti, Karishma, Mansi, Sanya, Shikha, Ayush, Harshita, Muskan, Basu and Saheli. I request the faculty cohort to please be here in the podium to felicitate our students. I also request the remaining students to join. Lakshika, Kirti, Sneha and Vansh. You can also join here. Saheli, Lakshika, Kirti, Sneha and Vansh.
Sir, am I wrong? I just hope I'm not photobombing much.
Big congratulations to every student here and congratulations to the meritorious students as well. Please stand here for the photograph. Big round of applause for all of you who have successfully completed your value-added course. Congratulations to the top 10 meritorious students selected on the basis of evaluation. I'll call all the 10 students to join us on stage. Ujjwal Sharma, Tisha De, Subhika Singh, Deepak, Gurmeet Singh, Tanya Kushwaha, Krishna Gupta, Ayush Tripathi, Muskan Sharma and Karishma Sharma.
है ना वो तो सही तेरा नाम नहीं तांत्रिक कोलकाता में सभा हो जाता IIM के अंदर में जाते हैं तो पार होता बचना
I request all the parents also to join us on the stage for a group photograph. I request our beloved parents to join us on stage for a group photograph. We are very delighted to have all the parents also with us. Thank you dear parents for joining us on this wonderful ceremony. So I would like to add one thing, students, that your journey of skill development doesn't end here, it starts from here. Because there are many important skills that you have to learn. Settle down fast, students. The meritorious students will be going to one of the IIMs to participate in the business plan competition, and will be accompanied by faculty members to ensure that you are taken care of. Okay? We'll be doing more such courses like ma'am said.
Please everybody, please be quiet. Everyone, please be quiet. There's some important information which is being shared, and this is for you only.
So we'll be sending the meritorious students to one of the IIMs wherever this year national center will be there to participate in the business plan competition, and the teams of all the IIM students will also be there. So here we are not talking about winning or losing, it's about reaching that platform where all the top national management students are going to compete. Now you have to understand that you are no less than them. You are in your graduation going to compete with those who are in post-graduation, which means extra effort and lot of thought process. Take help of teachers, wherever you want to help us to be there. Because if you win that business plan championship, there's obviously a huge prize money which will actually prove that the DME BPA students are way better than those who are studying in IIMs. If you compete with them, beat them. Okay? So the idea is that you and I, we make one team where we help you to make your business plan pitch in a very perfect way. Because we've been to these competitions and we know how tough it is. आप सबने Shark Tank देखा हुआ है. अभी recently भी बहुत सारे series आई हैं where you have seen that how difficult is to pitch a business idea. So doing that business plan competition is going to transform your life totally. Okay? Over to Shirley ma'am. We have wonderful team of student coordinators and teachers coordinators who deserve to be given this due respect of organizing this whole event of your value-added program. And now the upcoming certificates will be for that team. Thank you, Purva ma'am. We also have one student and a parent with us to take the certificate for Chirag. Welcome sir and congratulations to Chirag. Without the efforts of these students, I don't think any event, any course is actually doable by only the faculty. Therefore, I take great pride in mentioning the student coordinators, Garvit Mahajan, Khushika Mathur, Krishna Gupta, Mansi Pundir, Muskan Sharma and Vidul Malik. Thank you students, and it was great working with you all. Congratulations, and you deserve this felicitation. Guys, so 3 cheers for our student coordinators. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! Without them, it would not have been smoothly conducted. Good efforts and keep it up. I request Dr. Ranjan and the faculty coordinators Surat sir and Rashmi ma'am to felicitate our very important support pillar. My words of appreciation for our ever-present help, IT head Mr. Abhishek Yadav sir, for his commendable support throughout the delivery of that course. Just not that course, but for all IT needs, he is of absolute help to us always. Thank you, sir. We now take pride in thanking the 2 faculty coordinators, Dr. Rashmi Chawla and Mr. Swaraj Manchanda, for giving students complete exposure to such a valuable certification. It is because of their efforts the course is successfully reaching out to every student who enrolled. Words become less when we want to thank our HOD ma'am, Professor Dr. Purva Ranjan, because she is the backbone of every event, every task, and she makes sure that all is done with absolute perfection. We deeply appreciate your efforts in guiding us throughout, ma'am. I request Dr. Rashmi and Mr. Manchanda to please felicitate our HOD ma'am.
So huge round of applause for all of us. Okay, आपके senior batch का placement week start होने वाला है 21st से. We are going to have 12 to 15 companies coming on campus और आप उस company के लोगों के साथ रहेंगे as placement in charges. Okay, so that अभी से ही वो आपको चुन ले, पसंद कर ले for internship and future placement. पिछले साल की आई कंपनीज में जो बच्चे लग गए थे, उनको automatically job calls आ रहे हैं. Okay, so you will now become the support system of placement for your seniors. Fine. Otherwise, the skill is wasted. Okay. We will give you an exposure of these companies. आपको idea लग जाएगा कि आपके placement week में how you have to carry yourself. Okay? So we are going to have 12 to 15 companies on campus for next 7-8 days back to back. You will see everybody coming in formal just like you have come today. Okay? So, thank you.
I now request Dr. Rashmi Sharma for a formal word of thanks. The smallest act of kindness is worth more than grandest intention. With this note, I, on behalf of Delhi Metropolitan Education, take the privilege to propose the vote of thanks for the 3rd Global Strategic Management Conference on FinTech in Metaverse, Challenges, Opportunities and Future Trends, organized by DME Management School on 11th and 12th November 2022. I express my heartfelt gratitude to the eminent guests for today's valedictory session, Mr. Vineet Singh sir, Vineet Tyagi sir, Mr. Vineet Dahiya sir, and Mr. Ankit Mehra sir for gracing the occasion with their esteemed presence and sharing with us their intellectual deliberations on best industry practices and future trends of fintech. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to mention that we are blessed to have renowned, illustrious and esteemed guests and panel speakers for our conference from industry and academia from across the globe. I express my deep sense of appreciation to all the eminent guests on the 2-day conference. Their contribution has been a great learning experience for all the participants. I'm really grateful to all the track session chairs for their guidance to the researchers and the participants. I would also like to mention the unwavering response of all the participants and researchers for this conference. I take this opportunity to extend the sincerest thanks to our knowledge partner, Career-Thon Services Private Limited, and for the never-ending guidance and support for the conference. I also like to thank our media partners for conference, Financial Express and Amar Ujala for their extended support. The successful culmination of this mega conference owes much to the leadership, guidance and support of our respected Vice Chairman, Mr. Aman Sani sir, Honorable Justice Mr. Pawar Singh, Director General, and respected Professor Dr. Ravi Swami sir, Director DME, and advisor of this conference. Without their blessings and patronage, this conference would not have been successful. I extend my overwhelming gratitude to Professor Dr. Purvaranjan Ram, Head of the Department, DME Management School, and Advisor of Gsmc 3 for a meticulous planning and guidance for execution of the conference. This conference has been your brainchild, ma'am, and we thank you for providing encouragement at every point of time in organizing it. It was personally a great learning experience from you, ma'am. I would also like to thank Mr. Prashant Khare, founder and CEO, Career-Thon Services Private Limited, for his support in the conference. Also like to thank Mr. Rahul Srivastav for coordinating whenever we required his support. I would like now to thank the organizing committee comprising of esteemed faculty members of DME Management School for their boundless support. Together we make a great team. I would also like to extend my sincere thanks to Mr. Pawan Saxena, Head Finance and Accounts Department, Mr. Abhishek Yadav, IT Head, Mr. C.M. Anand, Head Administration Department, and his capable team, Ms. Richa, Jaganji, Sundarji for their continuous support throughout the conference. I would like to thank Mr. Anmol Mehta, Head Creative, for his incessant support right from the starting of the conference. The synergy of the department would not be complete without the energy and enthusiastic support of our student volunteers. Thanks to all the students wholeheartedly. I would like to thank the wonderful audience for today and the dear parents for gracing the occasion. Last but not the least, a big cheer for my fellow convener of the conference, Dr. Shuchi Goel. Kudos to your acumen and organizing skills and handling the conference untiringly. You are a wonderful partner to work with. Looking forward to more such associations for working together, ma'am. Extending you all good wishes. Thank you, everyone.